So my name is Alana Wu. I'm a junior at Orange County School of the Arts, and then today I'm going to be talking about integrating musical therapy into with technology, and then my application of that with Euphony Echo, which is my program. So, first of all, my concept was generally based on the idea of musical therapy, specifically to alleviate stage fright. And as a specialized field, musical therapy, when integrated with singing, can become a catalyst for personal growth and emotional growth. And then your brain, basically, it's hardwired to distinguish sound, music from different sounds. Like it can recognize rhythm, repetition, notes, and tunes. And it's essentially because music is mathematical in a sense, and it's architectural, and your brain has to do computing to really recognize it. Like for example, music follows a framework, like if time signatures, things like that. Like a waltz has a 3/4 time, giving it a distinct 1 2 3 1 2 3 pattern. And then notes are also organized in using frequency through hertz. Like for instance, a commonly known one is the A above middle C is 440 hertz, which I actually used for testing of my program. And then also intervals between notes, such as octaves, fifths, they're mathematically consistent and create different harmonious relationships. And then in a more technical sense, when sound waves actually enter your eardrum into your cochlea, there are cells that release chemical neurotransmitters that activate the auditory nerve. And then that basically sends these electrical currents through your auditory cortex in your temporal lobe of your brain, which then goes to your motor regions like your basal ganglia, your hippocampus, and then your amygdala. And these are your body motor systems, so that's why you can kind of groove to a beat or tap your foot along with some music. And then also another part of your brain, which is the limbic system, that kind of regulates your emotions, your motivation, and your memory. That helps connect melodies and harmonies to emotions, which makes music feel expressive to each individual, personally. And then in a general sense, singing also has certain techniques such as inhaling, exhaling, which obviously it's very beneficial for you, yoga breathing, things like that, which help you relax. So just generally, music is just a great way of communication and expression. So these are a few types of existing musical therapy. First one is karaoke, which is a therapeutical karaoke experience where participants process emotions through music with a therapist's guidance. But there are some limitations which include its geographical settings and then group settings that could possibly hinder personal growth and disclosure. And then we have songbirds, which is a emotional exploration through nonverbal communication of music. And while it's effective, it does limit engagement due to lack of home-based options. And then lastly, I have Tang et al.'s study, which highlights musical therapy and musical medicine efficacy in reducing depressive symptoms, but it lacks personalized treatment and has methodological inconsistencies. So I touched a little bit about this earlier, but basically musical therapy has great potential in helping individuals with emotional regulation, communication, and mental health, especially for people with who suffer from anxiety, depression, or maybe neurological disorders. However, there are these certain challenges, such as, first of all, limited accessibility. Who really knows about musical therapy, right? And also, professional musical therapists are not widely available, especially in rural or lower-income areas. And then many people who could benefit the most from these programs probably don't have access to trained professionals. And then secondly, musical therapy sessions can be expensive because they often require specialized training, one-on-one guidance. And then also insurance cover is inconsistent, which makes it difficult to afford long-term therapy for certain individuals. And although virtual and AI assisted therapy is growing, most musical therapy still relies on in-person sessions, and there's untapped potential for apps, virtual reality, and machine learning to create more personalized and accessible experiences, which I will get into in just the next slide, I think. And then many people also still just see music as entertainment, which it is, obviously, but it can be used as a legitimate therapeutic tool, though it's very personalized for each individual. and this perception limits its acceptance in medical and educational settings. And then lastly, not all individuals respond the same to musical therapy. Finding the right type of music structure and delivery for each person can be challenging, and more research is needed to understand how different demographics and neurological conditions respond to music-based interventions. Okay, so I want to get into how we can integrate technology with music, and these are some benefits of it. So first of all, AI and machine learning for adaptive therapy. AI models can analyze vocal tone, lyrics, musical choice to gauge your emotional state. And then machine learning also can adjust the tempo, genre, melody based on the biofeedback. And then VR and augmented reality settings just create a more immersive experience and then create customizable spaces that enhance engagement and relaxation. And also more interactive motor skill development. And then biofeedback and neurofeedback integration can track users' responses to music, you're monitoring your heart rate, adjusting rhythms and frequencies accordingly. And then there is possibility for wearable devices to provide tactile sensations aligned with musical therapy goals. And then we have data science for therapeutic insights, which identifies correlations between music and music therapy sessions and emotional cognitive improvements. And then AI-driven apps enable therapy in non-clinical settings and seamlessly integrate between mobile, tablet, and VR applications. So I want to get into my application, my attempt at it with the Euphony Echo, which currently is a novel vocal training program that is designed to potentially tap more into musical therapy goals. So I'm going to read through the abstract for my paper right now, and then I'll get into more specifics. I can't see. Okay, performance anxiety, commonly known as stage fright, poses significant challenges for individuals aiming to enhance their singing abilities and stage presence. To address this issue, we have developed a virtual reality simulation that explores a concert environment, offering users a safe and controlled space to practice and improve their performance skills. The program integrates a vocal engine for real-time pitch analysis, an immersive environment both on-stage and off-stage settings, and a diverse song library with synchronized lyrics. Key challenges included accurate pitch detections, which were addressed by broadening the range of permissible pitch variations, and then enhancing user immersion through detailed stage design and dynamic movements. During experimentations, users engaged with VR simulation across various scenarios, receiving immediate feedback to refine their vocal skills. Results indicated significant improvement in users' confidence and performance quality. This innovative approach offers an accessible and effective solution for individuals seeking to overcome stage fright and develop their musical talents in a supportive virtual setting. So, breaking it down, this is how it works, technically. So, basically, the user journey will start backstage in a kind of real environment where they can, prepare, calm their nerves, just get ready. And then they can select their artist and their song, which will pop up with their difficulty levels, their past scores, and then upon clicking the start button, the program will transition them into the main stage scene, which initiates their performance. So once they're on their main scene, users unleash their vocal prowess as the vocal engine will analyze their real-time pitch. And this dynamics allows users to enjoy singing while also receive valuable feedback. And then users can adjust pitch-based parameters in the VR environment, which adds a layer of personalization to their virtual performances. Once they finish their performance, we have a result of their score, just all the information where they can either go back to the backstage or just quit the application. So I built the program with C# and then Unity, C# through VS Code. And then it's built specifically for the Oculus Quest Pro 2. So I have a few samples of the code. This first one is just kind of the pitch detection. So basically, the start function will initialize by ensuring that the microphone input is really inputting sound, and then it analyzes where it falls within a certain spectrum. the mic spectrum. And then the song source finds where and what the audio source is to inspect how the pitches if the song spectrum relates with mic spectrum. And then the application obtains the spectrum data for both the microphone and the songs using the FFT window Blackman-Harris function, which is a way of periodically analyzing and transforming signals into frequencies to make inputted audio more accurate. And then the recorded pitches from both audio sources are stored in their respective history data structure for further observation. When they're recorded, the pitches are then averaged to help further avoid being influenced by any anomalies present in the reading. And after all the pre-processing steps are complete, the pitches are then compared to see whether or not the user is deviating from the source or remaining within a certain threshold. So essentially, it just periodically analyzes and transforms signals into frequencies to make the input audio more accurate and compares the input of the users with the pitches of the song. And then this little piece is just saying, upon entering this stage scene, the scene's going to check what song was chosen and then follows that up by filling out all the UI elements that come along with the song. Depending on the difficulty of the song, the currently invisible, as you enter it'll be invisible, but they'll update the end panel with the difficulty and all the information, and then throughout the performance, live updates will be added regarding the score. And then the system notifies both the microphone and the song sources to begin their task once everything has been properly initialized. And this is the last little piece of code. So basically, I used Unity Scriptable's object system, which is a way to create serialized data that's easily slotted into dynamic situations. And this helped support the large variety of songs that I implemented. And the application uses this by defining two scriptable objects and a color that references, we'll see in a second, neon lighting. And then we have the song scriptable object, which has the artist name, the song, and the audio clips for both the instrumental and lyrical version, as well as the difficulty drop-down so that you can specify the difficulty in relative to other songs. And then lastly, the lyrical field is just basically once you're on stage, you'll see this kind of karaoke-like. We just try to paste it with the song so it works like karaoke. So let me give you a quick demo of the game. Okay, wait, I'll just do this. Okay, so this is the Unity. So it's gonna be a little hard to navigate. So this is the backstage scene where it's just kind of basic things you'll see, instruments, clothing racks, changing outfits, just kind of a place to relax. It's very basic, very plain, just to give a more real environment. And then once the user's ready, they can choose their artist here. Right now it's kind of just very typical karaoke, pop artists and pop songs. So let me run it real quick. So if I choose Bruno Mars, is that Bruno Mars? It'll start playing, right? Just so you can kind of preview it, and you can choose whether you want instrumental version, or I can turn off the music right now. It'll give you the difficulty of the song, your past scores. Right now I don't have any past scores, so this is the default. And then once you start, you're gonna be transported over. Oh, I did not start it, oops. So, Bruno. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is the main stage scene. Let's take us over there right now. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. So I have the end panel up right now, but essentially when you actually play it, it won't be there, and then your song will kind of flow up. Let me see if I can turn this off for us right now. UI, Canvas. Okay, here it is. There we go. So in the main stage scene, we just have a typical like stadium type setting concert. On the left side, you'll have this bar that shows your progress at the song and the time. These are the lyrics. Right now, it's just California Girls as the default, but when you actually switch into it, it'll be the correct lyrics. And they just kind of go up while you're singing as like help for you. And then while you're singing, you have this scoring system, which numbers and then letters up to a score of S, which will automatically give you live feedback based on your pitch variations. So yeah, that's how the game works. That's what it looks like. And then we did a few experiments with it. The first one being to evaluate the effectiveness of VR-based singing therapy program to reduce stage fright, improve singing accuracy, and enhance user engagement. And these are the values that you can see here. But basically to evaluate, we had 10 participants with mild to moderate stage fright divided into an experimental group and a control group. And the experimental groups practiced singing with the VR environment, utilizing the vocal engine for pitch feedback and immersive stage dynamics and diverse song options. Then the control group used traditional karaoke setup. So they gave pre and post test assessments measuring stage fright, singing accuracy, and user engagement. And then we analyzed the data here. So basically I broke it down to the highest value, the lowest value, the median, means, just so we can see a better picture. And you can see there's a significant reduction in stage fright and increased singing accuracy among experimental groups, which highlights the effectiveness of VR therapy. And the biggest impact comes from real-time feedback and immersive elements. And some control participants showed minimal engagement and improvement, which kind of emphasize the value of VR interaction and personalization. So yeah, these findings help us validate the hypothesis and encourage further studies. And then our second experiment was to assess user satisfaction with the VR-based singing accuracy to measure the score on 5 different elements. So we had 10 participants between ages 18 to 40. After a 30-minute session exploring features like pitch feedback, the environment, and song options, we had them complete a survey rating 5 elements, which is the ease of use, the immersion, feedback, effectiveness, song variety, and overall enjoyment on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest. So once again, breaking it down, highest score, lowest score, median, and mean. The immersion and overall enjoyment received the highest ratings, which highlight the VR program's engagement nature. And then surprisingly, feedback effectiveness scored slightly lower, potentially due to new users finding pitch analysis less intuitive. And then the song variety had the lowest minimum which kind of suggests a need to expand content, because as you saw earlier, it's just kind of the basic songs. So yeah, I will hope to address these in the future, which I will talk about now. Future development, I want to deepen Euphony Echo's focus on musical therapy by introducing features that enhance both emotional and physical well-being, such as rhythm games that would help users' engagement with structured patterns, improving their sense of timing and control, which are skills that are often linked to emotional regulation. Guided exercises like vocal warm-up, breathing exercises to promote relaxation and reduce anxiety. Since controlled breathing is a key technique in both music therapy and mindful practices. And then as we saw earlier with the feedback, expanding the song catalog can offer users more opportunities to connect with the music that resonates with them personally. Because as I said before, music is a very personal experience due to the connections that your brain makes with your past experiences. So like a larger array of song catalog. And then lastly, a larger range of environments, because currently, as you saw, we only have the stadium right now. I think that it would be really interesting to have different environments, such as like a more secluded like jazz band, or like in a jazz environment, right? It's just to everyone's personal preferences. And then like maybe someone wants to put themselves out there, like they can sing on like the streets of New York or something like that. Just different like variations for people to explore. And then that would like foster deeper connections between themselves and the music. So in conclusion, Euphony Echo integrates virtual reality, machine learning, and real-time audio processing to create an interactive music therapy program. And by leveraging VR environments, users can engage in immersive musical experiences that facilitate emotional expression and anxiety management. The machine learning model adapts to user responses, which analyze vocal and biometric data to provide personalized feedback and support. And additionally, real-time audio analysis enhances user emotional state and engagement. And as development progresses, I hope to like refine the algorithm, expand more on, like, just get deeper into the musical therapy aspect, because currently it's leaning towards vocal training, right? So just making it, bridging the gap between therapeutic intervention and technological innovation. So these are some references that I used, along with some I linked a little bit earlier with like Harvard Health and stuff like that. So thank you so much for listening. I have my email and then the code repo on GitHub. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Thank you so much. And if you don't have any questions now, feel free to email me. Yeah.
Is the application available for anyone to use?
Yeah, currently it's not on any app store right now, but I do have a website for it. Let me pull it up actually. It has like the download. If I can find my mouse. Okay. Okay, well, I'm sorry, I don't have internet right now, but you can also just download it through my GitHub and just do it on your own application if you would like. Up to you. Yeah. Any last questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for coming, you guys. I really appreciate it.